Good evening, Starseeds. Jennifer Angela here, Trans Taravan. It is Halloween night, midnight on the dot. The one night of the year where the spirits of the dead can return to Earth. The night when the veil between our world and the spirit world is the thinnest. Tonight we're going to be doing a collective reading, all signs. It's a spread that I call, it's as above, so below. It looks into the energies we are currently in, shadow work that needs to be done, what opportunities are being offered to us, what actions need to be taken. Like I've always said, like we're always given opportunities from God, Source, Spirit, but they always take action. And it always takes work, shadow work, going into those dark places, clearing negative energies, past traumas, addictions, heartbreaks, old like feelings of self, like what you were taught growing up. It's basically, it's unlearning everything you were told about who you are, what you're capable of, what your purpose is, why we are here. I've always said that we are spiritual beings living a human experience. We're here to learn how to create and manipulate energies. But we're so bogged down by like the illusion of like every day of like work, finances, home, health, family. It's like we go to work, we come home, pay the bills, spend time with family, go to sleep, get up and do it all over again. It's a cycle, it's a system. But it deters you from figuring out what your purpose is, why you are here. What are you learning? Because you're supposed to be learning in this lifetime. So you have the knowledge in the next to like spiritually ascend to new levels. But it's healing past ancestral traumas, trials, and tribulations. So tonight, we'll be doing a spread calling on our ancestors, our spirit guides, friends and families who have passed, who are able to communicate with us on this night. So this will be a collective reading, all signs, as above, so below. It's the ending of a cycle as we come into spring. It's like fall comes, everything dies, we're covered by snow, and then there's the rebirth in spring. So now, moving forward, it's figuring out what we have learned through this cycle, through this year, and how we are moving forward in the upcoming year. She wants to keep burning, huh? And it's getting the guidance that we need. It's knowing what we have learned and how we're going to use that moving forward. Okay, so explaining the spread. We're going to do as above, so below. So it's going to be 3 cards for the energies that we are currently in, what is surrounding us, what's going on in our everyday right now. Like what energies are surrounding us, what we're dealing with, how do we get through that? Then you have your subconscious, those energies that are hidden, the shadow work that needs to be done to get to the next level. And then the third level will be what this offering or opportunity is. So it's going to be 3 cards for what is available, your opportunities, actions to be taken receiving these. Then you have your core energy, what you are in right now and what you are dealing with. And then it's the subconscious, what needs to be done to get to what is being offered to you. Okay. Call upon the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Call upon ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels to please watch over us tonight. Please watch over this reading for the collective. Help guide these messages and let us know what we need to know to move forward to the next cycle of the year. What lessons have we been learning? Okay, starseeds. What are the current energies surrounding the collective at this time? Current energies. In the center of the reading, we have the Hierophant. That's Taurus energy. It's your spiritual belief system, your upbringing. This is God, this is Source, Spirit. This is your education, your spiritual belief system, Then you have the 8 of Wands, force pushing forward. But it's also analyzing, reading the fine print. You have the 4 of Swords reversed. Now the 4 of Swords speaks of putting down pain and conflict, going with the sword of truth. So this has something to do with spirit, messages from spirit, your belief system, and it's force pushing forward. Like I said, this is the night where the veil is the thinnest and messages come through a lot easier, louder. Okay. Let's look into what is being offered. What are the opportunities ahead for the collective? What is being offered? There is a message of truth. The Ace of Wands, the opportunity for a new passionate and creative beginning. And then there's this message of truth with that Knight of Swords. Then we have the Page of Wands in reverse. The student. Learning how to wield that Ace of Wands, that new opportunity. Now you have the Page of Wands in reverse. So it could have to do with this sword, because you also have the 4 of Swords in reverse in your current energy. So it's looking like it has to do with a truth that is being offered to you with this Knight of Swords. Like he brings this Ace of Swords, this message, this knowledge. And it's you needing to use this to move forward with your passions collective. It's a catapult with that 8 of Wands. It's like force being pushed through, but it's reading the fine print, like I said. It's being open and receptive to listening, to Spirit, to God. And putting down pain and going with truth. Because this is all centered around the Hierophant. It's the only major arcana on the table right now. And then you got that Knight of Swords. So it's all about truth, spiritual systems and belief, your religion. And moving forward. Okay, so let's look into the subconscious. What needs to be done to attain this Ace of Wands, that opportunity, the seed for a new creative and passionate beginning? It's giving you that spark back, and it's learning a new way. But there's something that needs to be done. It's putting something to rest, collective. In your teachings, your belief system. So like I said, this usually always has to do with your past. Like anything that affects us in the current is all a result of our past. Like even in psychology, they always say it all goes back to childhood. So it's your structure. So this is all around your structure, collective. It's our structures as wholes. It's our family life. It's our education, our religion, our outlook on society, on life. And the messages coming through are there needs to be a change. I'm hearing Sam Cooke. A change is going to come. It's been a long time coming. Like, heal the world, make it a better place, be the change you want to see in the world. Like, we need a change. There's a truth that needs to be acknowledged to spark our passions and to get us going in a different direction, collective. Oh, we're getting a little rain. It's cleansing. Okay. In the subconscious, the shadow work that needs to be done for us to actually move forward and attain this new foundation. You have the 9 of Wands, the Star card, and the 2 of Wands. Now the 9 of Wands speaks of the wounded warrior, like we are wounded. It's like being on your own, being left to hold everything down. So you are protective and guarded of what you have gone through. The 2 of Wands is looking at your options, looking out on the world, the universe, Spirit, God. It's finding the path, making a decision on which way you are going to move forward. Star card, Aquarian energy, wishes fulfilled. It's a strip down, a rebirth of your spiritual belief systems to be able to go after your passions. So it's looking like you are being, like we as a collective are given the opportunity to have new beginnings. It's a new year, a new start, the end of a cycle. But to make that change, it's having to go and live in our truth. It's, like I've always said, there are people who would rather live in a comforting lie than a hurtful truth. You cannot learn and grow from a comforting lie. It is false. It is an illusion, fake, not reality. So it would block you from moving forward with your passions and creativity if you are not being truthful with yourself, with others, your beliefs. It's having that conversation with God and self. Making clear what you want. It's giving it up to God, laying it at His feet. It's laying all the burdens down and going with faith and truth, going with your passions. Overall energy, the Three of Swords, pain, heartbreak, sorrow. Bottom of the deck, the Two of Cups, new emotional connection. So it's looking like this is the opportunity for a new emotional connection with self and God moving forward. Changing our path, like changing, I'm hearing like we've come a long way as a collective in the world, and we're not where we are, we're not where we should be, but at least, we're not where we were. So there is always progress. But now it's time to make a change and come together as a collective. It's like I've always said, in all religions, I've always looked at the similarities in all of them. Because we can learn from each other. Different cultures, different age groups, like our ancestors, the elderly, like they have seen so much change. And then we need to learn from them to adapt, to move forward. And it's looking at the similarities of each religion and how we are the same instead of focusing on our differences. What makes us different? What separates us? Because what that does is it separates a people. It's like you want to put yourself in this group, but now others are excluded, and it's like you try to just live within that group and it stifles you. You're not seeing the whole picture. It's like wearing rose-colored glasses. It's being in your own world, your own illusion collective. And it just brings heartbreak because there's separation of a society, of a community, of a family because of differences. We forget to look at our similarities and how we are connected as opposed to what pulls us apart. And it's like, I've always said it's like the easiest way to control a collective is either through fear or hope. And I've always said, without getting too political, our governments, higher ups, they tend to use fear. And people live in so much fear that because they are afraid and they don't have hope, they live in fear instead of hope. They look to someone else for protection and guidance. And it's usually the oppressor. The one that is promoting the fear is who we tend to run to for protection, because it's like a Munchausen syndrome with power. It's like when they get into power, there's many that use it for evil, and it's corruption, and it's like you separate the people and put them against themselves so they do not rise together as a collective to overthrow the evil. It seems like evil wins, evil is gaining a lot of power lately over the past maybe 10, 15 years. And there's so much fear that people have lost hope, and it's like you tend to become irrational. It's like because you don't have hope and live in fear, it's like people are reacting instead of responding, and it's like they're pulling apart and not coming together. Like, that is the time to band together and help each other instead of rip each other apart and like try to get your own little piece of the pie. And it's like you're going for your piece of the pie and leaving someone out in the cold worrying about yourself, but really what you need to be looking at is the baker, the one offering the pie. It's like they have all these pies in the back, but they're just offering this one just to watch everybody fight over it. And it separates us. And it causes heartbreak and pain and traumas and like people living in poverty. And it's like changes need to be made for everyone to be able to move forward as a collective instead of having such a separation. Okay. So it's like we need to put down, like that Four of Swords, like in the current energy we all are dealing with, it's that Four of Swords in reverse, which is putting down the Three of Swords, the pain, the sorrow, the heartbreak, to be able to push forward with our spiritual belief systems and community and becoming one instead of like so many separate sections. And it's like we're separated and not joined. It's the one way to destroy a community is to separate them and put the community against each other instead of the oppressor. Clarify the Three of Swords in the overall energy. Why is the Three of Swords here? And what do we need to know? Three of Swords is clarified by the Queen of Cups, the Hermit, and the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Cups is emotion and intuition. It's Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. But it's being open and receptive, collective. And then the Hermit, that's Virgo energy. It speaks of going into dark places, those caves, and clearing away trauma, heartbreak, sorrow, like addictions, pain, prejudices, like it's inner perspective, self-reflection and realization. And then the Ten of Pentacles, that's family, physical health, finances, having enough for all. There is enough for all, but it's like a rat race that we're all going for, trying to get our little piece of cheese, that little piece of the pie. But it's the one in control that is dictating all of it. And it's putting us against each other instead of going after the actual oppressor. It's like I've always laughed at when people would like fight to raise the minimum wage. And it's like, okay, you fight to raise the minimum wage. And when they do raise it, if you've noticed, they just raise the cost of living. It's like, think of like in the 50s and 40s, or like whenever like fast foods came around and like burgers were like 3-4 cents, 15 cents. And the technology we have now, it is actually quicker and cheaper to make products now, but we charge more. It is supply and demand. We have been taught to work and consume, make money for the employer, get your little piece of the pie, but then you spend it on trying to survive and stay stable and live in a world where just they raise the cost of living, that you think you won something and you got this little bit of money, but they just raise everything else. So it's like people fighting to raise the minimum wage. It's like really what you need to be fighting for as a collective is to lower the cost of living. Think smarter, not harder. But with separating the people, it's a rat race. Everybody fighting for that little bit. But if you were actually able to get all these people together as a collective to actually see the similarities that we are all going through, finances, money, poverty, no matter what color, creed, religion, we all have the same issues in the world that we are dealing with. But we tend to look at our difference and say, oh, this one's taking all the jobs, or these people are lazy, or it's because we're all trying to get that piece of the pie, and we're putting our anger and frustrations out on each other instead of our oppressor, our rulers, our government, our politicians, it is what it is. So it's an opportunity to make a change. But it's having to go with a truth. And to stop living in this illusion of a lie of... I've always said, the whole, American dream of home, health, a house. It was always a nightmare to me. Which is how I ended up in the van. I gave all that up. I was working all these hours just to pay for rent and lights, which was almost 3/4 of your pay. For a roof over my head, for a place to sleep and rest, to go back to work and make somebody all this money, and I'm just getting breadcrumbs. And it's I was done with that. So it's needing to make a change in that. It's working together as a collective instead of blaming each other for this. It's looking at the oppressor and changing our belief system, our core values. Okay. So in our current base energy with what we have this Four of Swords in reverse, which is needing to put down this pain and conflict and go with truth, which is in our opportunity, that Knight of Swords, a message of truth moving forward. And this has to do, center of the reading, all around the Hierophant, the teacher, our governments, our religious beliefs. And it's a force pushing forward. It's needing to rest and look at this and come together as a collective. It's looking at our options because we're all in this wounded warrior state. It's we just went through a pandemic. Everybody's trying to get their finances together. There were people laid off, businesses closed. We lost a lot of our ancestors due to COVID. I lost a few myself, and they are watching over me now in a different way. So it's us needing to heal and come together as a collective instead of pulling apart. All right, so let's look into this Hierophant in the center of the reading. The spiritual belief systems, the structure. Hierophant is clarified by the Two of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Message of passion and creativity with family, home, emotions, connections. Needing a balance, collective, of our minds, peace. Taking off the blindfold of illusion, coming together to see the truth so that we are able to move forward as a collective with our homes, our emotions, our connections, relationships with each other. And it's accepting that message of passion moving through. It's It's scorched earth. It's burning your way, burning a path. Being able to see the truth. Take off the blindfold, the rose-colored glasses. I just thought of Oz, like when they come in and they see the wizard, there's this big illusion of this master, this powerful being that is all-knowing, all-powerful, in control. And then you see who's behind the curtain. It's taking off the blindfold and seeing the truth. What's going on behind the curtain, collective? It's looking at the hurtful truth. We've let it go so long that this is what we have allowed to happen. So it's needing to take off the blindfold now, because we have the opportunity to make a change. But we need to be able to acknowledge the truth, for one, and then come together as a collective to move forward. Okay, let's look into this Four of Swords in reverse. This is needing to put down that Three of Swords, that pain. Go inward. Look at what we do. What is your place in the system? In this journey we call life, what we've gone through, how have you been? Like, what is the energy you've been putting out? It's like it's seeing the truth and then now seeing your part in it. It's finding out, looking at the system, how it's run, and what you've done to help it along. Clarify the Four of Swords in reverse. Current energy surrounding collective. Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is clarified by the King of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and that Star card, which is also in the subconscious, like the shadow work that needs to be done for us to move forward. It's looking at this. We're all that wounded warrior. We've all gone through something, but it's pulled us apart. Now there is an opportunity now for a new physical beginning. A seed. But now this is in the current. This is now. We have the opportunity in the future, if we go with truth, for our passions and our creative energies to flow. It's like where energy goes, the power flow, like that's where it grows. It's where you put your time, your energy. Now the King of Wands, that's action. Kings are all about action. Now you add that Page of Wands in the opportunity with going towards truth and learning how to wield that Ace of Wands, that new opportunity. So actions need to be taken. And it's looking like for us to get this, it's going after our wishes. It's that Star card in our subconscious with that which we are wounded as a collective. And we also have that Eight of Wands, which is messages moving forward. It's like a force. But I also said it's reading the fine print, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, looking at every angle. And it's looking like this all has to do with our structure as a collective. Our belief systems, how they've changed. Why they've changed. What have we gone through to bring us to this, where we are all so separated and we're not joining together as a collective to tackle the real threat, the people above in that position of power, the oppressor. Okay. Clarify the Eight of Wands, current energies. What do we need to know about the Eight of Wands? Eight of Wands is clarified by that Nine of Wands, that wounded warrior. The Six of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. Recognition that we are wounded as a collective. Queen of Swords, that's Gemini Libra energy. I've always said she's very cutthroat and triggering. So it's like the energy we are all in is like this wounded warrior state. We're all triggered. We're on edge, walking on eggshells. It's like, it's a separation, and it's really when you need to come together as a collective to help each other. But it's like we're all so triggered and like high-strung, and it's that wounded warrior. It's like we're all just trying to keep it together. Okay. Now, in what is being offered to us, you have that Page of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and that Ace of Wands. So that Knight of Swords, that's that message of truth. So there's this message of truth that has come, this knowledge, and now actions need to be taken. Faith without work is dead. Like, you can't just wish on something and hope it's going to come into fruition. Actions need to be taken. You have to work for it. Like, a lot of people now, it's like everybody wants something for nothing. It's like they all want that piece of the pie. And it's like everyone's struggling, but it's also being willing to work for it. It's like, be careful what you wish for, because if you want it to come into fruition and to go through what it takes to get it, you need to be open and receptive to that. Okay, so let's look into this Knight of Swords, this message of truth, this new mental outlook. Clarifying the Knight of Swords. Offerings being made to us. What is this message of truth? Okay. The Knight of Swords is clarified by the Six of Cups, the Tower, and the Fool. Now, the Six of Cups speaks of past memories, our upbringing, our family. The Tower, it's a crumbling of a foundation that no longer serves you. But it's also, if you look, it's a bolt of knowledge, shocking the crown of the tower. It is knowledge, it's an epiphany, it's knowledge that has come to you, and it's now breaking down old foundations and structures. And now you also have the Fool, which is taking a leap of faith, starting a new journey. The Fool's journey, the beginning. And having faith that God has you, Spirit has you. It is relying on hope and faith instead of fear and your oppressor, your government. It's going with God. It's like the government just oppresses us and tries to keep us in this system of making them money and then us consuming our money. It's like they say knowledge is power. They sell your knowledge, like your information, to like websites, and like you get little things like you could be talking about something with friends and then all of a sudden you get an ad on your phone saying the exact thing you were just talking about. And then you have people who say, oh, they're just conspiracy theorists. It's a proven fact. Look into it. Just start, like, you'll have a conversation with someone, just even talk about something so random, or like something that can be bought, or like it's consumed. Give it an hour and a half, 2 hours. Guaranteed you will get an ad on your phone of the exact thing you were just talking about. Because it's of interest to you now. You spoke it. And now that is heard, and they will find a way to get it to you, and you will pay. Consuming. Could be the ravings of a mad tranny, or test it out yourself. Like, I've done the research, I've seen it many of times. I've had friends, like, who weren't, like, I'm into perfumes and scents. And it's like, I'll be talking about a certain perfume. They're like, oh, what is that? And I'll be talking about it. And I get ads all the time for, like, FragranceNet, Scent Beauty, all that. Because that's where I order my stuff. And then all of a sudden, they'll start getting ads on their phone just because we were talking about a fragrance or something. And they're like, what the heck? We were just talking about this. I'm like, oh, yes, they heard. And there it is. Your opportunity to get what you want. Okay. Did these go off for some reason? Did they die? No. Let's get a little more light up in here. Like actual white light. So we could see better. Where's white? Changing all the colors. Oh, there you are. Okay. White, white. Are you on? White. And white light. Now we can see. And God said, let there be light. Shining light on all those secrets. Okay. So it's having the opportunity to come together as a collective. It's going with truth. It's a crumbling of our old foundations and belief systems that separate us and keep us oppressed and like guarded in this wounded state, because we're all trying to get that peace, but we're not coming together to help each other. We're more just against each other. Okay. Let's look into this Page of Wands in reverse. This is the student learning how to move forward. It's being open and receptive and learning how to move forward with our passions. Like I said, we're here to create and manipulate energy. But it's like we are being manipulated by a higher force. But it is because we are separated. We have strength in numbers. There is a lot more of us than there are of them. But because we are separated, we are so busy battling each other that we're not going after the oppressor. Now, if we actually can come together as one and fight for what we have in common, instead of looking at our differences, what we can achieve. Strength in numbers. One thing that kind of annoyed me, if you saw the thing where it's like people like storm the White House or the Pentagon or something. Now they did this, and when they went there, all they did was like put their feet up on desks, and it's like, oh yay, we got in here. Now, if you could do that, why not actually make a difference? Take action. It's like, okay, you proved you could do something as a collective. But what was accomplished? It's like, it's actually taking action as a collective to move forward. It's like the Chariot card. It's opposing energies that usually repel. It's like we have our differences and they try to separate us. But we also have similarities, things we all want. And it's actually looking at those and coming together with those. So it's opposing energies working together to get to the same destination that helps everyone as a collective. And that's what just needs to be done. Okay. Clarify the Page of Wands in reverse. and the opportunities. Why is the Page of Wands in reverse? Page of Wands reversed. Now the opportunity is here. You have the Lovers, the Eight of Swords reversed, and the Hanged Man reversed. Now the Lovers, it's a crossroads, collective, but it's being divinely guided and protected, having hope and faith, and choosing a path. But what is holding us back from doing this? Like I said, we had that wounded warrior state and needing to go through a healing process, go after our wishes. But we have the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man in reverse. Now the Eight of Swords speaks of self-sabotage. The Hanged Man, non-movement. It's being forced to see it in a different perspective. The world is upside down, and we are looking at an illusion, thinking we are trapped and stuck. But as a collective, the power we have in numbers is out of this world. It's coming together to take down these demons, devils, these oppressors. Instead of separating, it's coming together, collective, as a collective. Bringing home community back instead of separating. I mean, like, okay, I believe this, you believe this. Well, I'm going to stay over here and you stay over there. Why can we not accept someone's difference? It's not influencing us. It's a way to separate so you do not bond together and get those numbers to have that power. Okay. Now in the subconscious, the shadow work that needs to be done, we have that wounded warrior needing to look at our options. And then the Star, it's wishes fulfilled. It's a strip down, a rebirth. It's Aquarian energy. It's bringing in, like, Aquarius is the water bearer. It's they are knowledge, but they bring emotion. It's needing to bring our emotions back in, collective. We've become very cold and separated. And it's needing to open up and be receptive again. Like how many times I've seen groups of people standing around and they're all in their phones. Like they don't know how to make eye contact anymore. It's like we don't know how to socialize anymore and have that personal connection. It's all electronics and the internet and social media trying to put forth this persona of something. But it's not real. It's an illusion. It's like no one is willing to live in truth anymore and see the truth. It's all a facade. Okay. So let's look at this Nine of Wands, this wounded warrior. Clarify the Nine of Wands, subconscious, collective moving forward. What is the Nine of Wands here? What do we need to know? Nine of Wands is clarified by the Four of Wands, the King, or the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles speaks of the opening of portals, the opportunity to step into stability, celebration. The Four of Pentacles is physical stability. But it also speaks of like holding on to something, like a foundation that may be harmful, but it keeps you grounded. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles. Slowest moving, very cautious, surveys the land, looks ahead, carries that Ace of Pentacles, that opportunity for a new beginning, but is patient, takes his time, no risk. And it's like the opportunity is here for us to make a change, but we hold on to what we know because it is familiar. But there's an opportunity for something better, which we're also going to have to go back and clarify that Ace of Wands. I just saw I missed that in that opportunity that's being given. It's like we're holding on to this, and it's a slow-moving process that needs to take place. All right, let's look into that Ace of Wands and the opportunity that is being given to go after our passions, to create, like for us to be the creative, for us to like manipulate these energies to create something better and not allow these higher ups. It's like we have strengths in numbers. Clarify the Ace of Wands and the opportunities moving forward for the collective. Ace of Wands is clarified by that Knight of Swords, the crumbling of the old foundation and going with God and faith and taking that leap, knowing we are guided. Then you have the King of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. The King of Cups, that's emotion and logic. Queen of Pentacles is emotion in the physical, being happy in the now. So there's an opportunity there's enough for everything, like for everyone, like to go around, but it's like we are being so oppressed by the higher ups. It's like price gouging and like lesser options, like jobs being taken away, it's like things being replaced, like trying to go technological and like taking away our even chance to make money. It's like, and it's going with truth and making a change, but standing together as a collective. It's like our religious structures need a change. It's like, I've always said also like the separation of like church and state. Like it was a nice thought, and they say that you have it, but it is so commingled together in our society that religion plays a big part in our lifestyles. It separates us when it should bring us together. It's like we need to actually, I've always said, looking at our similarities instead of our differences, not to separate. Alright, now in the shadow work to be done, we have that Star card and that Two of Wands. It's looking at our options, the path ahead. Clarify the Two of Wands and the subconscious energies moving forward. The rain's starting to come down. It's cleansing. Okay, Two of Wands is clarified by the Five of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, wow. Okay, now the Five of Wands speaks of competition, strife. But I've always said it's a chance to learn your strengths, your weaknesses, your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and then learning from each other. Like I've said this whole time, it's like we always look at our differences, but why not look at our similarities? Like what we can learn from each other. Because it's like we are carrying this burden on our backs, and it's needing to either put it down or build something with this. Queen of Wands is emotion and passion, creativity. It's being able to tap into our emotions as a collective and work together to move forward to get to the destination we all want. working with who you think is the enemy, but it's like your peers. You have different belief systems, but you want the same things, and it's working with each other to get to the destination, and maybe compromising on how you're doing it, and needing to compromise and put the ego aside and work together as a collective to get it done. Clarify the star card, the subconscious energies for the collective. The star card is clarified by that Three of Swords again, that pain, heartbreak. This is what we need to move away from. It's time for balance of yin and yang. It's like we're juggling this around, and it's moving away from strife and moving to calmer waters, collective. It's working together so we all are able to attain our wishes. It's like going after our dreams, which we thought was an illusion. It's like this rat race, but it's looking at our oppressor and working together as a collective to take that down and change the structure. Okay. Let's look into guidance from God, Spirit, ancestors, spirit guides. It's like we're working together. This is not just God, Buddha, Gaia, Isis, Osiris. It's all working together. It's all of us coming together as one and looking at our similarities and what we are trying to attain. It's like, it's a rebirth. We are all joining as one now. Advice moving forward for the collective on this new cycle and new path moving forward. Moving to now. Bottom of the deck. Six of Wands. Celebration, recognition for a job well done. Advice moving forward. You have the Magician, the Five of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, a message of emotion moving forward. Five, of Pentacles, a feeling of being left out in the cold. It's like you have this help that is there. It's like, but we are so bogged down by looking at our difference. It's like there's someone else that could help you that probably has gone through the same things you have. But it's like you look at your differences instead of your similarities, and there's so much to gain from the knowledge. The Magician, manifestations, the Me card, as above, so below. Taking what is in your heart, your desires, what you want, putting it into the physical, and trying to bring something down. As above, so below. What energy you put out is what you get back. If you are putting out conflict and like anger, anxiety, difference, hate, that's what you're going to get back, and it separates us. And it makes the oppressor win. It's the devil winning. It's God and the devil playing chess, and we are all pawns in the game. And it's trying to work together to change the structure, change the game, flip the script. And actually being there for each other and going with compassion and sympathy and emotion. It's like helping your brother and sister up instead of kicking them when they're down. It's like, oh, well, I'm higher than you. I'm not going to help you. You just stay down there. I know what it's like, but it's a struggle. And it's not wanting to help others. It's looking at our differences and it's be the change you want to see in the world, collective. Like it's one person making a ripple. But like I've said, you have strength in numbers. As a collective, that ripple turns into a wave. And then it's like a monsoon, and it's like this huge, powerful thing. It's like the bigger we are, the more we can conquer. Okay, we are at an hour right now. Bottom of the deck, Judgment, a call to take action. We have the knowledge of what is going on around us, but are you just going to dance in the moon, like in the illusion, or are you going to answer the call? Take action to make a change, collective. It's like we've gone through so much growth apart from each other as a society, and we've had the chance to go into that hermit mode. Like the past 2 years with like the pandemic and COVID going on, we've had a lot of time to think and do inner perspective. Now, we've all gone through this. It was worldwide. So we all have that in common. So we've all been doing that inner work and seeing something, and that a change needs to be made. So it's like the knowledge is there. The tower is falling. You see what is to come. Now, are you going to live in fear, devil energy, toxic, codependent, depending on others like your government or higher ups, your oppressor, to protect you, or coming together as a community, family, friends? It's like a friend of a friend is my friend, and it's like, and then you say the enemy of an enemy is my enemy, but it's like, why is that an enemy? Like, look at your similarities, not your differences. Like, we need to make a change. To come together, like, it's a judgment call. Actions need to be made for changes to be made. And like I've said, we have strengths in numbers. There are a lot more of us than there are of them. Good always takes over and prospers over evil. Alright. Call upon God, spirit guides, ancestors, to please watch over us and guide us on the ending of this cycle and beginning of a new. What messages does Spirit have for the collective moving forward on this new cycle and journey through life? The Ascension Flame. Liberation. A sense of greater purpose. Higher expectations. So it's liberating ourselves from our oppressors, collective, coming together and forming a fist to take action. Okay. The Ascension Flame is strongest in the Temple of Luxor, Egypt, and can be called on to raise your energetic vibrations to a higher state of knowing and consciousness. In order to accept and integrate the Ascension Flame within your 4 body symptoms, mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional, challenges and outdated belief patterns must be broken. That which does not serve us needs to crumble. That tower, a crumbling of an old foundation, because it no longer serves us anymore. It is built on lies, deception, secrets, and it is coming together as a collective to build something and to rise like the phoenix from the ashes. It's building something from the rubble and rising again. That star card, a strip down, a rebirth. All right, where was I? In order to achieve a rise in ascension, you will be provided with some of the greatest challenges that accordingly align to your karmic blueprint. I've always said karma, like justice, it falls on the line of morality. It is your karmic income tax check. Think, we work our asses off to get that piece of the pie, and then they still take, and then give you a little crumb at the end, and you are thankful for that crumb, because you need it. And it's the same with energy and our emotions. It's what you put out, you get back. Time to pay the piper. It is time to come together as a collective and hold our oppressors accountable for what they have done. During these times, enlightenment from the lessons learned will raise your vibration to a higher level. The key is to move forward with an enlightened wisdom. Master of the Ascension Temple Serapis Bey holds the Ascension flame on the fourth ray of purity. If you are ready to conquer your own misguidance and distorted energies and belief programs, it's being open and receptive to knowing and seeing the truth of what is around us as opposed to what we are being told in news, politics, media. It's taking off the rose-colored glasses. It's like I was saying with Oz, with that great and powerful, magnificent Oz, and then you look behind and there's just this little old man behind the curtain. We are in a time where it's like pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. No. It's there. It is known now. We see this. Now it's time to take action. Are you going to see it and take action, or continue to ignore what's going on behind the curtains and look at the illusion? The wizard, the Oz, the Almighty. Okay. Set real-time expectations and discipline your mind to create achievable outcomes and a state of clear consciousness. Ascended Master Serapis Bey is guiding you through a challenging experience. Deliberate attempts by others to engage emotional responses or gaslighting will only prove you have moved on from the past. Interest in ancient symbols, hieroglyphics, the ancient Egyptians, pyramids, and astrology all signify that you are ready to ascend and let go of old energy collective. Begin and continue your ascension with self-improvement goals. Be all that you can be, despite your perceived misgivings. Grow knowledge over power. Affirmation: I can